Bro, just watched 8 episodes of Wisteria, and I've got to admit, this show is funny. It's very funny, it's hilarious. Let me tell you what, some of the thoughts I got from watching this show. We'll start off with the red-haired guy. What's his name? Oh wait, let me give you a quick synopsis. This is a show about people with magic, are really good, and there's everybody else. Just so you can visualize it more. If I had to put this in graph form, the top tiers, of course they have magic, they're all the way up here. Then we've got the regular people, the people still in school, around here. And now we have the people who have no magic or talent for it. That's wrong. At least if you have talent for it, you'll be a little bit more higher. These are people with no magic, all the way down here. And even this graph doesn't give it justice. They should be way lower. This is not me talking. This is what the show keeps trying to tell us. So now back to Zion, that's his name. Red-haired guy has flame magic. This guy was funny. What did J. Cole say? Prize the devil. I would have took that secret of him saving me to the grave. But this guy kept acting up. But I get it. I would be like him too. If a no magic bomb in my school, I would have made fun of him too. And out of all people, he saves me? Damn, I would be on my knees. That would hurt me. Oh wait, never mind. This all happened because when he was a kid, Will, the MC, said no to him. He didn't want to be one of his boys. But I can't lie, when he casted that fire spell behind his back, I was kind of moved. It was kind of cool, it was cold. Now let's move on to another character, the ice guy. His name's Julius. Bro is evil. Man's basically the evil Naruto from episode 1. He learned the secret shadow clone jutsu. But after he did, the thing in the bar with the dwarves, racism as we call it, I can't lie. I was moved once again by a different character. The way he was looking down on other people. Hey, I felt like, I was in his side for a bit. The animation definitely played a big part of it. They even got me cheering for him. And when he called Will's girl a fraud, this is a thought I had in my head and someone vocalized it. I didn't want to say it. He spoke for me. Hey, I was all for Julius to win that fight. I knew he wasn't, but I was all for it. I thought, this was the right side of history. Julius is the right side. As long as we forgive everything he has done, and he will continue to do. I don't think he's going to stop here. But then, unfortunately, I got a flashback back to JJK. All I kept hearing was, "You the GOAT, but Gojo. You're the fastest guy I know, if we're not counting Gojo. You have the strongest attack, but Gojo though." Because when that guy was bringing up new information about this shadow clone technique that explodes, he was like, "Shit, I could do 4. And then he's like, "Hey, she learned it when she was 2. Okay, I'll do 8. She must have gotten lucky. But still, she was a kid. There's no way she could do even more than 1. And then he was like, "Hey, she was doing 10 back then." I knew at that point there was no winning. My boy Julius was in the mud. It was game over. He went up sad. Man, he lost a tooth. He was even feeling himself. But the one thing I couldn't, understand, processing it, maybe someone needs to explain it to me. How do you call someone a fraud, but then you use the whole bag? Maybe not the whole bag, but like a part of the bag. To prove that, the technique that you used is strong. That's like Kobe calling MJ a fraud. It didn't make sense. Somebody needs to explain this to me, that's all I'm saying. Now we have another character that was funny, man. And I'm talking about the gloomy looking guy. What's his name again? Edward, I don't even remember it. I had to search that up. This guy was one of those old heads that didn't make it pro, but is hating because anyway you see this guy fight a Minotaur. The same Minotaur that was beating one of the top students so flawlessly, while you got his co-worker glazing him, and you still think it was a fluke. And the way Will was fighting that Minotaur, you would think he's done this before. This was another day. And also, that dwarf story, bro, I was on his side. I would be sick too, once again. These people with no magic need to stay at home. This world is all magic. Because that dwarf story told me everything I needed to know about this world. Like the end of this dwarf story, I clocked out. Because ain't no way the MC thought he was onto something. When he said, actually, when the wizard no-diffed the whole army, one guy stood back up and landed a punch. Didn't knock him out though, just landed a punch. Bro, I would have tweaked out. I'm not gonna lie, Will might have not survived that day if I was that teacher. because that did not prove anything to me. It still proved, dude, the sword swinging somewhere else, just not around here. But I love it. He didn't stop hating after that. In that tournament, when Zion betrays Will, that guy is just smirking, just laughing. How are you doing unbiased commentary while you're biased? You're clearly biased. I don't get it, man. This guy is a hater, but I get it. From what I've seen, this is a world where the older you get, you gatekeep, while the younger you get, you climb the tower. Because I've yet to see an old person up in that tower place. They all look like they're 15 and 16. I bet you he got rejected because he's like, you're way too old for this. You should be thinking of retirement, not climbing the tower. Now on to the MC, Will. I just don't understand it. How people still didn't know he kinda had talent, even if you tried to hide it and wanted to hate for the love of the game. How did you generally not know what he was capable of? He's been in this school for 6 years, and sure, maybe he wasn't the best for the first 3. From his personality, he'd just be saving everyone left and right. He's saving someone without even thinking. And it's not like he was hiding his abilities, except, you know, the tournament where we find out he wasn't entering the tournament. And that's when one of the teachers was showing a clip of Will and Edward fighting, and no one mentioned anything. Why am I the only one questioning this? The same guy you call a bum, you're watching him fight a teacher 1v1. The same teacher that nearly became one of the top tiers of the world. And that just confused me. Once again, I might need someone to explain that to me. We've got to stop having our boys climbing random towers for some girl, especially just to look at the sky or something like that. To see the skies or the stars. Come on, man. Lock in. Sure, I can only think of another specific anime like this, but it's weird I can think of another one. At this point, it's going to become a genre. And finally, we've got, you know, I don't know who they are yet. I forgot what the word is, like Maggie, whatever it is. Basically, the 5 guys on the seats. Actually 4 because one of them was empty. Basically, at the top of the verse, that's what they make it look like. But what we need to do is start making the top of the verse quirky characters. I know this might be controversial because there's no reason why this main girl, Alferia, I think I pronounced it right, why was she sitting in a chair like Bobby Schmurder in that one interview? I just don't understand it. Just sit down normally. Hey, but ignore the rest. Let's focus in the real MC, my GOAT. That lightning guy, he may have only had 2 sentences throughout the episodes I've watched, but had all the aura, all the sauce, and he's not racist against Worf. That's a plus, because everybody else is. Lightning uses an anime, just keeps getting deeper and deeper. We don't take no L's, and why not? Let's rank all the elements and like leader representation. You know what I'm saying? The fire guys, I'll give them a +1. Really carried by Zion, and the top guy that was in the seat, I wasn't really interested. There's no plus for him. The wind, -1, you know what I'm saying? Don't like the top leader. She was talking crazy to my GOAT. Actually, never mind. It would be a 0 because I liked when the games were going on. There was that one introvert girl. She was kind of spitting. I liked her when she was just like assessing the situation. It was like, oh, this guy didn't overexceed my expectation or underachieve. So he's kind of boring. I give it a 0, you know. Cancel each other out. The lightning, of course, I will give it a +2. We got my GOAT, that's a +1 by itself. And the lightning girl won her competition, even though she didn't get any screen time, she just won it. That's a win to me, a +2. That's 2 out of 2 lightning characters. The ice, I give it a -1. While Julius raises it up a bit, because I liked him, he kind of went outside. So the negative does outweigh the positive, so I'll give it a -1 for that. And then I'm not the biggest fan of Alferia, that's just me, so that's a -2. Now you're gonna ask me what's the logic? And the answer is I don't have one. I'm just hating. I believe she's also a fraud. I know she won't be. I'm gonna believe it. And I guess the light is a 0 because they had no representation. Moral of the story, ignore the agenda that this MC guy is pushing, and magic is superior.